Hey everyone, it's Michael Equinox Doodles, and I'm going to be giving you a content warning for this upcoming fanfiction. This fanfiction is a ship between Roy Mustang and Edward Elric, two characters who have a rather large age gap. So if that doesn't really settle well with you, and I know it didn't settle well with me when we were reading it, just go ahead and just wait for the next episode tomorrow, which will be between Cloud and Sephiroth instead. So please enjoy the episode while you are still here. Otherwise, we will see you tomorrow.
Welcome back to So You Think You Can Fan, and I've stolen the intro for the second time in a row.
I'm on this podcast.
Introduce yourselves, boys.
Most of the time.
It's been a really long time since I was on this podcast.
I guess. I don't...
Which one?
Who the fuck are you?
Wow.
Next one.
Yeah.
Minority.
Hello, everyone. The person who's kind of been running the podcast for the past 2 days, Sergio here. We're coming at you with day 3 of slash week thick Valentine Day thing, because my brain is getting scrambled.
I'm here again. It's been a really long time since I was on this podcast. I've been busy actually working retail and stuff, you know, as a man.
As someone who doesn't...
I'm Michael, or Equinox Doodles.
And who are you,
someone who
sir?
doesn't work in retail, I don't envy you.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Don't envy me. I don't envy you, Jake.
I mean, my job's pretty fucking easy.
Yeah, but you're also, like...
I just deal with dumb people, like, once an hour.
That's fair. I don't have to deal with dumb people at all because I'm
You work
stocking.
in retail, yes you do.
I stock. That's all I do. They ask me a question of where things are, and I point them in the general direction. That is my job. Speaking of pointing things in the general direction, it's Slash Week.
Quick.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, we are, as we usually do.
Phallic
What's
objects at each other.
everyone's favorite Slash? Mine is, the guitarist.
Slash?
My favorite Slash is... That's a good question. I'm a big fan of Forward, actually.
My favorite Slash?
Mine is the
back one.
guitarist.
I know, that's why I like it.
But you never use it.
That's what they say
But
until
it's
you
like so
take it
small
in the
and
bag.
floppy and it never gets the job done.
Okay.
Also, on the
Guns N' Roses.
also unrelated to anything, but on the topic of me eating tongue-tied, for whatever reason, I keep referring to the show involving Bucky Barnes and the Falcon as Captain Soldier and the Winter Falcon. Like, I say it, and that's what it comes out as.
I mean, it's pretty
Captain
generic.
Dude in the guy.
It's pretty...
It's like that one time I said Halo Chief
Was that
Master Man.
intentional, or is that just what it came out as?
I think I wanted to say a joke with it, but I said the wrong joke
If you're
and I
trying to
tried
say
to roll
Halo
with it.
Man.
I
and then he
will
said
say,
Halo
though,
Chief Master Man.
For those of you who don't know, I actually did buy the entire Chain of Memories collection. So, from Chain of Memories all the way down to,
$100 well spent.
fucking, what is that?
We'll never run
I
out
think
of
that's
Set
content.
for
Lost
Life,
Chain of
baby.
Memories or something like that. As well as the spin-off series, the 3 books so far. If anyone's curious about the stack size, because I have them all stacked on top of each other, they are slightly taller than 7 inches. So it's about, I want to say about 8 inches.
Can you convert that into how many hams per square inch could you fit in the space that the books take up?
I don't know how the fuck those...
Can you convert that into
Well, it's-
Team
yeah,
Fortress?
can
If
you
I
convert
were
it
to
into
put my
Source
phone
hammer
against it,
units?
it's slightly taller than my phone. It's like 2 books taller.
Okay, but can you convert that into Source Engine hammer units?
Source engine. Okay, yeah, source engine hammer units. I want to say that they're probably like 2 hammer units tall.
That's inaccurate. A hammer unit is 1/16 of a foot.
The fuck is 1/16 of a foot?
What do you mean?
My God, I have to do fucking
1/16th of a foot.
calculations.
He just told you.
Yeah, I
that
told you-
is
I asked you.
0.75 inches.
Oh, then yeah, it would be about. It would be about like 1 to 2. One to 2 hammer units.
Yeah. It's like it's
10
yeah, it's like
hammer
nine
units.
nine. Yeah, 9.33.
No,
if
it's
it's
like
7
10
inches
hammer
tall
units, 'cause
flat,
it's
it's
0.75 of an inch.
9.33 hammer.
Okay, it is
Thank you.
9.33 hammer units. That is how big it is. I will say,
Also,
book 3 in the Rebirth series, whatever it's fucking called, Clash of the Ancients Redemption, is the thickest book in the series.
Clash of the Ancients Redemptions?
Yeah, Clash
I
of
was
the
gonna
Ancient
ask you
Redemptions. It is the
how many
biggest.
pages, but then I realized that there is almost certainly not a
I will
page
tell you.
numbers.
Let's see here.
Michael Freeney has
see if I have a
evolved
page
beyond
count.
the need of pages.
I don't.
Silence, peasant.
Mike Freeney writes on cuneiform tablets.
I'm pretty
and has
sure
them
if you look this
translated
up
over.
on, if you look it up on like Amazon or something, it'll tell you the page count.
Yeah, it will. Was it Clash of the Ancients Redemption?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like a real book. It sounds like a shitty mobile game.
It does.
All
That
right,
it does.
All right, Michael Thomas
Freeney.
Freeney. 498 pages?
Yeah, it's yeah.
Michael Thomas.
Compare that to Chain of
Michael
Memories, which is I want to say is the
shit.
thickest of the actual main series.
I see that he added his grandpa Guevara into the dedication page. I shouldn't have laughed. He's dead. Rest in peace. Okay.
And so this
his grandpa
podcast is
was always
sponsored
there,
by
it's just he
Clash of
never
the
said the
Ancients
name.
Redemption.
Okay, so I'm reading the chapter for Clash of the Ancients Redemption, and the grammar got better, but there's no quotation marks. Like, I'm reading parsable
here's the thing.
paragraphs,
Here's
but
the
there's
thing.
no quotation marks.
Here's the thing. Here is my copy of Ursula Azure of the Ocean Rebirth. And you know what's really funny about it?
What?
There's quotations in it.
But like consistently.
Yeah. You guys are
Consistently?
Sapphire, Elsa, and
Like,
Aurora. I
it's
remember you,
properly
Elsa. You
quoted?
were the daughter. No.
So
Here's
you just have to
one.
read a little bit
Here's
more.
one. These guys are true heroes.
Yeah,
we
no,
have
that's
nothing
not.
against these people. In fact, maybe they can even help us," said Rose, as Rose and Reno have a stare down. It's an.
Matt.
We'll ask him. We'll
What
ask
the
him
hell?
as soon as
Mikey
we
Mikey
chill.
Thomas sometimes.
Mikey
What's going on
Tom.
with this?
Yeah. No, we can't call him Mikey. We're not on that person.
Tommy.
Also, I would like to make a statement, Matthew. Michael Thomas Freeney writes on poneglyphs.
Yeah, what's up?
Okay, so looking at Clash of the Ancients Redemption and reading it a little bit, the reason why it's parsable is that he uses periods and commas where he should, which makes it a bit more readable. But if you actually like sit and stare at it, you realize that there's like
Yeah, well.
yeah.
Look,
Like there's
it's-
still no quotation marks, but the use of
It's
proper
about the same.
punctuation allows your brain to like.
He is
Fill them in
he
where
has
they
done
should
8
be.
full paperback books. 8 of them. It gets better.
Yeah,
It should
so?
get better. I'm waiting
It
for the
won't get
4th
better.
book. I want the 4th book to be about the size of like 2
Yeah,
Deathly
I'm
Hollows
glad.
put together. I want it to be that
You want-
big.
You want to know how to make it get better?
By reading a new slash fic.
By reading on a new /fic. What are we bringing today, boys? I asked to the people who didn't bring it. And
Yeah,
in
the one who
fact,
brought it
not
up.
the person who did, which is me. So I will answer my own question. This is called Useless When It Rains. Chapter 1, I Want to Break Free. It is a Fullmetal Alchemist grooming /fic. Because of course it is.
I really don't
so
like that
I know
description,
two of
but
us
it's so
have-
accurate.
Immense experience with the franchise, and 2 of us do not.
Yeah, I haven't finished FMA Brotherhood. It's on my to-do
I'm
list.
sorry.
But
Neither has Sergio.
no. Anime is one
That's
of those things
disappointing.
where it's like I either
Did you
sit
finish the
down and I
original?
watch the whole fucking thing like I did with Evangelion, or I start it and then I have something else to do and I can't I can't multitask with anime.
Yeah. Before we start reading, though, I would like to make a statement. If you are one of those people who've got into the franchise, and someone told you not to watch 2003, I want you to know they do not have your best interests at heart, and you should stab them. Because Fullmetal Alchemist 2003 is good, and people are just mad
They
that
are
it doesn't
gene
follow the
stealers.
manga 1-to-1. because it couldn't. It did
Pierce
its own thing.
Pierce chuds are annoying.
It couldn't.
There's so many people who are like, you just shouldn't watch Fullmetal Alchemist 2003 because it's different than the manga. And I'm like, okay, it's also really fucking good.
That's fair.
Like, damn, it's good as hell.
Yep.
And you wouldn't know that because you didn't fucking watch it, Jeremiah Chudley.
Is this like a self call out?
No, I'm not. Do I look like a Jeremiah to you?
You know,
you
you're
look like a
Greg.
Gregory.
That's what I thought.
Who's-
But yeah, that's my statement. Never let anyone tell you what not to watch. If you want to watch it, just watch it. Don't let other people's opinions on it. When you have no opinion on it, form your opinion on it. Sometimes it's good to just watch a show and be like, wow, that was good, or wow, that was as dog shit as I thought it was. Anyways,
Yeah. Anyhow, let's actually.
who
get
wants to
into
be
the
who wants to be
fanfiction.
Colonel Roy Mustang?
Who would like to be who and what?
Let me see who Mustang. Yeah, I'm not it.
I don't want to be a child groomer. Not
fuck. I guess I'll be the child. Can we censor that one out?
No.
Can I be my favorite voice actor, Victor Edward Elric Manana?
Sure.
I can't believe. I will just enjoy the.
Sure,
the-
I'll be the narrator. I
what's
guess.
going on.
Oh boy, I'm sure there'll be more characters at some point, maybe. And if not, then you're lucky.
All right,
You
child
don't
groomer,
have to
start us
pretend
off.
to be a child groomer. Actually, I think somebody needs to read the title and the
Oh,
chapter
I will read the title
before I start this off.
I'll read the title and the description.
All right, go ahead.
Useless When It Rains by Stina the Wicked 13. Takes place just after Mustang's fight with Lust. Edward visits Mustang in the hospital to say thanks, and lets darker urges take over instead. When Edward decides to lay himself out as bait for Scar, Mustang steps in to take the fiery blonde into hiding instead. Nothing could possibly go wrong.
Fiery.
Mustang slash Edward.
the fiery
M slash
blonde.
M. Light masochism. Light BDSM. Progressive behavior.
Sorry, I think you mean possessive behavior.
Sorry, possessive behavior.
Nothing about
Well,
this
there's
is
nothing.
progressive.
I would like to state on record that there's nothing progressive
Okay, I
about
was
child
about like, I'm
grooming,
sorry I
and-
read that wrong. There is nothing progressive
Yeah,
about
no,
child
you're okay.
grooming. If you groom,
I
will
have a
slap you
mantra
and
that I
send you to
live
hell.
by.
Unforgivable.
I have a mantra that I live my life by.
Yeah.
Don't be a pedophile.
Don't
That's
be
it.
Call Me
That's the
Carson.
whole- That's what I live my life by.
Yeah.
That's
Just
a
don't,
pretty good one.
Just,
If there's an algorithm sensor on the website we post this to, we're almost certainly going to have this episode
mean,
get taken down.
I don't think they scan it for audio.
Yeah, Anchor is powered by Spotify.
we just have
That's
to
fair.
say that. We just have
Let's-
to put
let's
just throw in a
hope not.
content warning at the beginning. We'll be fine.
Okay.
We don't condone. Before we start, I don't condone this
Right.
content. Don't be a pedophile. If you're a pedophile, I'll break your kneecaps.
Is there any fiction we've ever read that
I condone
we
safe
do
sex
condone?
and consent.
I condone the
But, like-
Warhammer ones that we read.
I condone all the good ones, and I don't the bad one. I condone the
Yeah,
Christian
Killing Graphics is
Bionicle
pretty good.
fanfics. Please give me more. I want my two favorite pastimes to be combined into one: Catholicism and Bionicles.
All right, let's start us off. Mustang.
Full
here we
metal.
go. Was the greeting Edward was met with as he finally managed to get a meeting with Mustang. The bastard. He was so busy holed up in a hospital room to take meetings, the level of pretentiousness was oozing off the snooty bastard in waves. It always has been. Alright, we already can't keep the tense straight. Be that as it may, he had saved Al's life. He had saved his life, and in so doing ended up in a hospital bed with one of his men paralyzed. Havoc, he thought his name was. The one that always seemed to be at the colonel's side. Wouldn't Edward know who Havoc...
First of all, Edward knows Havoc pretty well. So it's weird. First of all, it's kind of weird that he's like, who's this fucking guy? I think his name's Johnson and Johnson.
From what Al had told him, Mustang had burnt the homunculi over and over again until she was crispy fried. He couldn't even imagine such a fate, even for those heartless creatures. Then again, he had gone toe-to-toe with these things before, and he knew there was only one real way of stopping them.
Colonel.
No, he hasn't.
Edward greeted back, shifting uncomfortably in the doorway. He had insisted on coming here without Alphonse. He hadn't wanted his brother to actually hear what he had to say to this prick. Golden eyes glanced around the room, landing on the empty bed in the corner.
Where'd he go?
Mustang frowned, glancing over to the empty bed as... Oh, this is Mustang.
Yeah, it's
Wait,
Mustang.
is this Mustang? What?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
Colonel Roy?
What? Wait, so who's... whatever. Mustang frowned, glancing over to the empty bed as his forehead creased with what could only be construed as worry.
They're running some tests.
Tests.
Edward questioned, his eyebrow arched as curiosity bled through his propriety.
Wow. Pointless questions. Apparently the Solid Snake impression was a good choice.
Very much so.
Yes.
Mustang's tone was cold as he narrowed his eyes at the short blonde.
He may never walk again.
Because of the homunculus?
Edward questioned, an
Dude, oh my god, this is just this is just Metal Gear Solid if it were Full Metal Alchemist.
Like 4 or 5 words at a time, please.
I mean, no, none of us can apparently.
Yeah, Edward questioned, an unreasonable amount of guilt filling him as he
Colonel.
knew that he should have been there. If he had just been there instead of back home speaking to his father, then Alphonse wouldn't have gotten damaged. Neither of them would have.
Is there a reason you're here?
Mustang questioned, his voice guarded as he had refused to waste both of their time and answer the What? This writing doesn't make any sense. Ed stared at the floor, steeling his nerves as he stepped further into the room.
I say what I already know. You got hurt, right?
No.
Mustang murmured mockingly.
They're just keeping me in this hospital bed because I heard the food was really nice.
Edward bristled, hackles raised.
You don't always have to be so sarcastic, asshole.
And you don't always you don't have to come into my room like a scared kitten and waste my time.
Don't like kittens.
Mustang snapped right back, dark eyes glowering.
I was trying to be gracious.
You glower?
What is glowering, if you don't mind me asking?
Being very, very grumpy. Looking
Glower? Yeah, okay, glower is a word.
Yeah.
Word of the day, glower.
An
Glower
angry or
in.
sullen look. A scowl.
Alright, let's see here. Oh,
Edward
it's
growl.
Edward next.
Will you shut up for just 5 minutes and let me thank you?
He huffed, letting go of the gown as the statement seemed to have at least caused the colonel to be in less of a bitchy mood.
When have you ever felt the need to thank me for anything? It isn't like you.
Hasn't Edward thanked him like 4 times by this point in the story?
And you would
yeah.
know so much about what I'm like?
Edward asked, defenses up as this man always seemed to be able to get under his skin. He hadn't come here for a fight. He had come for the exact reason he had told him, to thank him for what he had done for Alphonse. If there was another reason he wanted to see him, well, he certainly wasn't going to... Okay, small pet peeve. Don't say he told him like 3 times in a row, because it becomes very unclear who's talking about what.
Yeah, no, well, I don't see how it's not clear. He told him. He and him, obviously. The two main characters.
Yeah, he had come for the exact reason he had told him, to thank him for what he had done for Alphonse. If there was another reason he had wanted to see him... So many...
Yeah.
He, him.
Yeah, you want to be careful with using he and him when you're dealing with 2 male characters in the same space.
You know how I can tell that a liberal wrote this?
How?
Ow.
Well, I didn't hear you.
How, Jacob?
Pronouns.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, are you looking at the page?
No. No, it's a joke because there's pronouns in the story.
Oh, okay. Because I've seen fanfiction.net authors who put the I have this many pronouns thing on their profile before. All right.
My pronoun is Obama.
It's your next child groomer. Read the quote.
I think.
Sorry, I was laughing at being called a child groomer. I'd like to state on record, no.
Okay, groomer.
Likely story, child groomer.
I think I have a fairly good concept by this point.
Let's stop making fun of him for grooming kids' heads. He's just a very good talented hair.
Yeah, I'm a hairstylist, please God.
All right. Mustang agreed with the assessment.
I know if you did come here to thank me, it must have taken everything for you to walk in through that door.
Mustang shook his head.
You don't have to thank me, brat. I didn't do it for your brother.
Well, that's comforting.
Edward managed to bite out under his breath, pushing his temper down.
I knew there were people here. I know there were other people you care about there. Havoc, Hawkeye, but you saved him regardless.
Were you about to say
I think I was
Hawkeye?
just going to let a
Yeah,
kid
I think I was
die?
going to say Hawkeye and Hawkeye.
Sorry, Jacob. Go ahead.
Did you think I was just going to let a kid die?
Mustang questioned, disgust at the insinuation filling his tone.
First of all, he committed. Considering the nature of the fact that that Roy Mustang has committed genocide.
Yeah.
Yeah. Besides, bitch had it coming.
Ed's eyes flickered down to the hospital bed, where a bandaged hand was resting on top of what looked to be scratchy woolen blankets.
He's not, you know.
He said softly, wondering if the rumors
He's
had been
not
true and
what?
Mustang had actually carved the transmutation circle into his hand. He bit out snippily,
He's
clearly
not what?
more. He bit out snippily, clearly more.
No,
annoyed.
I was also asking he's not what. 'Cause I don't know what the fuck he's trying to. I don't know what that means.
clearly more and more annoyed at this conversation. Edward knew he had to make it quick. Even still, he couldn't seem to manage to get out the words as he stood there in awkwardness, staring down at that bandaged hand.
Fullmetal, did you come here to deliberately waste my time?
I wasn't aware that your schedule had gotten so busy.
Edward mocked.
Next time I'll try to have Hawkeye pencil me in between your scheduled jello feedings and sponge baths.
If only I could be so lucky.
no.
The nurses here are a completely different level of hot.
Edward bit his bottom lip at that, his nose turning pink as he shifted.
That your type?
He asked before he could stop himself.
Long white stockings, tight dress, rectal thermometers. I threw my blanket into my mouth and got all of that out.
Isn't it everyone's?
Mustang questioned right back. Brow arched.
You ever stop to think that you shouldn't be asking your superior officer who his type is?
Why?
Edward questioned.
Do you never talk about girls with havoc?
Roy snorted at that.
Why is he now
That's a
decide to
bit
call him
different,
Roy?
don't you think? Yeah, Roy.
No, I don't think.
Gregory.
Edward snarled.
Edward snarled, being interrupted almost immediately by Mustang stating under his breath.
Well, that much is obvious.
I just meant.
Ed took a deep breath, trying to control his temperature. It's not his temperature, not his rectal thermometer, his temper, as he forced his eyes up to the Colonel's face.
I just meant that Al
Breaks
is
the
in a
rectal
kid, and neither am
thermometer.
I. You don't have to treat us like children.
Alphonse is 14.
Roy argued with a frown.
Almost 15.
Edward shot right back, not really knowing the point he was trying to make, only knowing he desperately needed Mustang to acknowledge the fact that his brother was growing up.
Making you almost 16.
Mustang stated carefully.
Uh-oh.
Edward
Uh-oh.
supposed that may have been the point.
Uh-oh. Have a seat.
He answered, rubbing the back of his... Oh, you didn't... You said something, but
Yeah, I said have a seat. Right.
He answered, rubbing the back of his head awkwardly at the cold, calculating gaze now focused on him. I think that was Edward. Now it's Mustang.
Oh, what?
Why are we
right.
reading this?
Right.
He drew out, rubbing the
Why?
bridge of his nose with his bandaged hand.
So you came here to say thank you?
The Colonel asked, drawing them back to whatever point there may have been for the visit. It was something Edward was feeling less and less sure of.
Did you carve it into your hand?
Edward asked before he could stop himself, once more derailing the conversation.
The transmutation circle. That is.
He clarified with a look of confusion.
Yes.
Mustang answered slowly.
Didn't really have a choice.
Think I'll miss the white gloves. Oh, sorry, that was.
He mumbled.
First
under
of
his
all, the white gloves are how he gets the spark for the flame, so he has to wear them no matter what. So I don't understand that comment.
Oh, okay. I did say that. Okay.
Yeah.
breath. Yeah,
Oh?
Mustang questioned.
I wasn't aware you were such a big fan of the uniforms. Perhaps we should start making you adhere to code and wear one yourself.
Sergio.
Sorry, like hell.
He grumbled under his breath, squirming slightly at the way the Colonel was grinning at his disgust.
Can I see it?
My hand.
Ooh.
Roy questioned.
If you don't
With
mind.
a very questioning tone.
In the words of Revolver Ocelot, my hand.
What was he doing? Why was he asking Mustang this? Why would he jeopardize his career out of some...
What? Infatuation.
Oh,
Why are we reading this?
no. Get out of there, Ed.
I don't like
Oh, I don't like it either.
Boys, we got him. Court martial.
I'm uncomfortable.
Military court. Throw him in the gutter.
All right. Mustang watched him for a few moments as if trying to read something from his face. He sighed, reaching down with his good hand and undoing the bandage. His eyes locked on Edward's face the entire time as he slowly unwrapped to reveal the healing scabs.
Why did you make me do this?
Edward ignored the question, studying the slightly inflamed marks tracing over every pattern carved into his skin. It was sloppy, but then he supposed he hadn't been aiming for complete perfection as he was trying to save all their lives.
It's going
Okay, genuine question. Why the fuck are we reading this?
slash
good
fic
question.
week, and it's gay.
It's gay, but it's also like...
Child pornography.
We'll probably only read the first chapter.
We better. I'm not fucking reading more of this.
It's going to scar.
No shit.
Pointed out, fascinated by the markings.
Probably.
Mustang agreed.
It's alright, I've had worse scars.
Edward understood that. His body was covered in scars. They ached during the rain and they pulled at his flesh, and sometimes, a lot of times, they pulled at a different part entirely inside of him. The same part that couldn't look away from Roy's hand as he reached out before he could stop himself. His own gloved hand traced along the markings.
I would also point out that this isn't par for the course. Well, this is par for the course with us, because we read Jesus and Hitler, where Jesus made out with his son, Jimothy.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal.
Good old Jimothy Christ. You got stabbed too, didn't you?
His eyes didn't leave that hand, only being drawn away from his sick fascination when Mustang grabbed at his
chin, drawing golden eyes up to him.
What is this?
Mustang bit out.
Why are you petting my hand, Fullmetal?
Can I see it?
Edward asked before he could help himself, his stomach tightening with whatever it was he had started in this room. Yet now that he had started it, he couldn't bring himself to relent. Oh no, all right. I've noticed something in slash fan fictions. It's called The Gay, and it begins to circumvent all logic and meaning in a scene when the two characters in question see each other. I think...
I'm not gonna call it the gay. I'm gonna call it literally just going, I want these two to fuck, but I don't really have a logical reason to get there, so we're just gonna kind of brush that under the
It's
rug.
called
gay.
sex time.
But it's not the gay.
I mean, yeah, I say it works for straight fics too. It's just because
It's called plot. It's called just the
it's
plot.
called sex time.
Sex time. I'm okay with sex time. I do not approve of calling it the gay because it works for every single kind of like sexual orientation.
Yeah, but I think it's funnier because male homosexuality is the funniest thing ever made. Oh.
Ever made.
I don't know about that.
All right, let's see. Roy saying what is where we stopped.
What?
Roy sounded beyond irritated now, and Edward knew he was about 2 seconds away from being thrown out of the room and court-martialed just for the colonel's bristling irritation.
Can I see where you got stabbed?
Edward questioned.
I heard you use your abilities.
What a fucking nerd.
Oh no.
Do I ask to see all the places on your body that the homunculus have touched you?
Oh, why did he word it like that? Mustang bit out, though his voice was full of curiosity as he had yet to look away.
Would you want to?
A blush lit up his cheeks with the question, trying to back away out of the room.
Edward,
Mustang spoke in warning.
you should go.
Why?
Ed asked stubbornly.
It's for research.
Researching male homosexuality. You know why.
The colonel spoke, fingers tightening along his jaw.
And it is most certainly not for research.
Let me.
Edward asked softly, fist clenched in anxiety.
No.
Roy spoke stubbornly.
Let me.
The alchemist spoke more forcefully with a Sergio desk slam.
No.
His superior's voice was laced with disgust.
I don't know what's gotten into you, but let's just say I accepted your thanks and that the rest of this never happened. Go home, Ed.
Don't tell me what to do.
Edward bristled, hurt and rejection filling him as Roy turned down his offer. To what? Ogle his scars? When exactly was it that he had completely lost his mind? Was he just off his game from Al being attacked? Was he just looking for a fight after he'd learned that he hadn't brought back his mother?
I'm your superior officer.
Mustang reminded him.
It's literally my job to tell you what to do. Not that you'd have ever been all that good at following orders.
Why would you think I would start now?
Edward questioned right back, ripping his face from Mustang's grasp.
Tearing his fucking face.
You're the one making. You're making this
instantly.
one. You're making this. You're the one making this weird.
Roy's mouth hung agape in shock.
Oh, I assure you, Fullmetal, I'm absolutely not the one making this weird.
His eyes glanced up and down over Edward's tense form.
This isn't going to happen. You should walk away.
Not feeling much like walking.
Edward responded, mouth set in a hard line.
You got hurt. You got hurt because you were protecting my brother. I just want to see what it cost you.
$27. We have really good health care in this country.
Mustang had sacrificed for his family. He had sacrificed to help him. Sacrifice always brought pain. Pain had been the one constant in his life. It had been the one comfort to push him towards his goals. I don't think that's a comfort. Push him towards his goals of restoring his and Al's body. Now he supposed he would have to add Colonel Mustang to the list. It wasn't just that, was it? It had never just been a tallied obligation when it came to Mustang. This man had been the one to come get him from Resinbool. Mustang had been the one to give him his dream, his goal. Mustang had been the one to always set something ablaze within him, even without the use of his handy alchemic abilities.
I get it.
Oh, neat. That's
I get
funny.
the joke. That's the joke. I get it. That's funny. Because he does that.
Yeah, he does the funny snap thing that causes war crimes.
Fine.
The colonel relented, reaching over to his hospital gown and undoing the tie on the side. He unwrapped it, and Edward's eyes narrowed in on the impressive array of tanned skin being revealed to him. Mustang's abs were sharp enough to cut as a wave of desire he wasn't sure he understood filled him as he took in every detail. A bandage was wrapped around his torso, and Edward could smell the antibiotic salve that had been slathered onto the wound, along with the distinct smell of aloe.
You're burned?
What a dumb motherfucker. He knew that he cauterized the wounds, and he's like, "Oh, you're burned? You use flame to seal wound?" I had to cauterize the wound.
Mustang supplied.
Is it everything you'd hoped it would be?
There was a
here
mocking
to
tone
kick
in the
ass and
colonel's
chew
voice that would have
gum.
made Edward twitch if he wasn't so
And I'm
focused
all
on
out
his
of children
prize.
to groom.
You did that because of me.
Edward stated, always the first one ready to take the blame.
Not really.
Mustang assured him, not seeming to be uncomfortable at the way the teenager was gawking at him.
Again.
Because I wasn't there to protect Al.
Or no.
Edward explained instead.
Again, not really.
Mustang assured him.
I had my own reasons, and I would have been there if you were there as well. Not that I would have said no to the backup.
Sorry to have disappointed you.
Edward replied, reaching out before he could stop himself and pressing gently along the wound.
What the
I read the
fuck?
next sentence.
The hiss of pain the act invoked caused a
Arousal.
to shoot directly to his
Cock.
as he couldn't help the small moan from leaving his lips.
Imagine walking up to your friend in the hospital. You just got fucking shot. And you're like, "Hey, you got shot?" And he's like, "Yeah." And you're like, "Can I see?" And he's like, "I guess." And he shows you the wound, and the first thing you do is fucking jab your thumb into it for fun.
And he gets aroused.
But who was the he here? Did Mustang get a stiffy from it, or did Edward get a stiffy from it?
I don't know.
Yes, they
no,
both
no,
got
it's
a
Sharing a
stiffy.
cock right now and it got hard?
No, it's Mustang because it's the pain.
So what you're saying is that he...
Mustang snatched at his wrist, pulling it away as he gripped it and made him focus his attention back onto that now angry face.
Hold on.
Mustang. I'm not disappointed.
I'm not disappointed. I would, however, describe myself currently as being a bit confused.
Edward.
Edward frowned at him.
Don't like that wording.
I don't like this next wording either.
Edward frowned at him.
I'm not trying to confuse you.
What exactly was it that he was trying to do?
Molester superior.
He was nearly 16 whenever he got...
Jeez.
Whenever he tried to feel something for Winry, he never could.
Is Winry a
That's
girl?
not based.
Yeah,
Winry's the
Winry
best.
is-
Winry is
his-
the bestest girl.
his crush.
Yes. She is literally one of the hottest characters in all of anime.
Bro.
And if you don't feel a thing for Winry, you're either gay or you just don't
She's
have
a, she's a
taste.
Sergio kind of girl. She's short and angry and works on things for
Well,
mechanical purposes.
Well, I feel that I feel that in the context of it, yes, Edward is very gay in this story.
I would like.
Yeah, yeah, I would hope so.
I would like to. I would
me-
like to go off of
Let me
on
get,
what
a,
Michael
let me get
said,
a picture of Winry.
and
Winry.
emphasize that she's hot when she's an adult.
There's,
you know.
there's Winry. She's very attractive
Yes.
as an
As
adult.
an
adult.
adult, because we're not child groomers. This is just really
yeah,
funny.
unlike Call Me Carson.
Oh, that's like
Sorry, did I say
that's
that?
like a month late, buddy. Come on now. If we wanted to
Look,
trend, we
had
should
a
have
white
made that
elephant-
joke
we
last
had the white
month.
elephant. We had a white elephant a month late. I think it's okay.
No,
Yeah.
you're grounded.
Oh.
Go to your room and no
Not
PS6.
because I'm a not because I'm a child groomer.
Okay.
Because you're grounded.
Okay, child groomer.
Well, you failed in that regard because I'm about to have you committed.
Let's see. I blinked and I looked in the wrong spot. Oh, here we go. Mustang,
Mustang
yanked on
yanked.
Edward's wrist as he was practically pulled.
Onto the bed. Their faces inches away.
You like scars, brat? You like seeing other people hurt, shit ass?
Edward blushed again, shame filling him as he tried to yank his hand away, but Roy held on tight.
I'm not a freak.
Roy snorted at that, shaking his head in disbelief.
You're absolutely a freak, a short, bratty freak.
Don't call me short.
His mind flashed to talking to Al about how their souls were connected. What?
Who's saying this?
I don't know.
I think that's Edward.
Never watched Full
I think
Metal.
I think Ed is.
Never knew you never knew you to care about things like that.
He scoffed, trying to cover up his outburst as he pulled against the pressure Mustang was putting on his... Now, hold on. What the hell does he mean by his mind flashed to talking to Al about how their souls were connected? What does that mean?
Soulmates.
Let's continue.
Go ahead.
Oh, I don't care, Pipsqueak.
Mustang assured him.
Not about your height. The fact that I'm half your. What?
That's
The fact that I'm twice your age is what it should be. Twice your age. That you're a guy. That you're my charge. That you seem to be half hard after making me wince, but not about your height.
I'm not hard.
Edward balked, gasping on the stage.
That's exactly what somebody who is hard.
Then what's that?
As Mustang reached out and pressed against his burgeoning erection.
Really?
The colonel asked, fingers tracing...
Slowly along the length of him as Edward's toes.
Do you want to know why I think you came here?
Probably wrong.
Edward spoke, because this is the first time anyone besides himself had ever touched him there. His eyebrows knitted as his hands covered Mustang's nails digging into the wound to get him to stop.
I doubt it.
Roy spoke, not moving his hand.
You're here out on a sixth sense that you should have been in the one to fight lust. You always seem to be rushing headfirst into danger, and you always come back more injured than you started.
Edward narrowed his eyes.
Just what you trying to say, asshole.
Fuck you, Leatherman. You went through a traumatic event that still causes you such pain.
Roy leaned forward on the hospital bed, mouth pressed to his ear as a shiver of anticipation went down his spine.
But I don't think it caused you any suffering, not the physical part anyway.
Let go.
He lost his arm and his leg. What the fuck do you mean, not the physical part?
Not the physical part.
What?
That's what he meant.
Let go.
Sergio,
What?
He finally did balk at whatever insanity had possessed him to let Roy Mustang.
touch his dick in the first place.
Or what?
Roy breathed against his ear.
Why are you acting so shy, Elric?
Didn't he just have a problem with the fact that he's twice Edward's age? Does
Don't
this
worry,
not...
don't worry about it.
The hand rubbing softly against his hardening crankshaft began to move more deliberate.
Jacob.
Sorry, crankshaft made me laugh, but I'm trying not to laugh loud. What are you going to do to me if I don't stop?
Edward moaned at just the thought, wondering if Mustang was right. Had he deliberately sought out danger? Had he sought out pain?
I'm not what you think I am.
He denied, biting his lip as his
crankshaft pressed against the chamber hinge, and Roy raised an eyebrow as he took in the size.
You making sure I didn't have a problem with short things suddenly makes more sense.
Edward
Wow,
wanted to...
tiny penis joke.
Edward wanted to die
Tiny
as
penis
humiliation filled him, trying to rip at that hand on him while holding back a moan.
Stop it.
Don't worry. I told you I didn't discriminate against pipsqueaks.
He mocked darkly.
Especially ones with masochistic tendencies.
Mustang!
Edward got out, shifting his hips as the front of his pants began to...
Is Edward pissing his pants?
No, he's cooping.
It's pre.
No! Edward was closer than he had considered.
Mustang.
The bastard questioned.
I'm your superior officer, Elric. You call me Big Hoss. Tips cowboy hat.
Edward was practically biting through his lip to stop from... I'll replace this with one, squeaky wheeling, all but bucking into the flat palm now pressed against his crankshaft, and this shouldn't turn him on. He shouldn't be getting his works off in a hospital room with superior officer palming his shaft and telling him
Cranking that soldier boy.
Cranking the soldier boy. Telling him how undersized he was.
But he was.
I imagine your mom's like, look, Matt, stop reading gay fan fiction. I'm
No,
trying to watch
she's
MCU
got it.
movies over here.
She's got her headphones on. She's probably not listening.
She's got her AirPods.
She's got her AirPods
in.
Yep. She doesn't hear her son being involved in a child grooming fan fiction.
That's for the best.
Probably.
Please.
Anyways,
He managed, not knowing what to even ask for with his experience, as his free hand grabbed for his own hair.
please what?
Mustang spoke, voice and...
Roused growl.
Please, sir.
He
I
managed...
think you mean please Big Hoss.
Please, Big Hoss.
He managed, giving in as his body heated in embarrassment, and whatever weird thing they were doing crashed around him. Mustang met his eyes as he slipped his hand down past the machine hinge, over the lip and into his jeans. Edward gasped as that hand firmly grasped the crankshaft.
Firmly grasp it.
The oil splooged embarrassingly fast, never having experience in the way of a mechanic's touch. His blonde hair hung in front of his face as his hips stuttered as Roy's hand. I should make it clear to anybody who's not reading along, which is probably every single person listening, there are explicit words that I'm not saying because I think it's funnier to not say them.
It is funnier.
Roy's hand.
I will say I'm a big fan of replacing like sex positions and like stuff with like fighting game terminology.
He
Like
threw out the
getting spit
he threw
roasted
out
is
the
called
sh-
getting
He
wobbled.
threw out the shore you can.
Roy's hand performed Korean backdashes on his crankshaft slowly.
You're welcome.
Mustang spoke softly. Hand backwards long jumping out the front of his pants.
That's the fucking speedrun tech, not a fucking
I know
fighting
what I
game
want,
tech.
bitch.
Head job, big house.
Edward questioned, able to look at the no doubt mocking look on his face.
For your brother.
Roy corrected, and Edward watched as he wiped the gamer juice off his hands on the same scratchy blade.
disgusting. But this can't happen again. Do you understand me?
I understand. Big
He spoke,
house.
feeling like lightheaded as shock, shame, and relief filled him.
You understand what?
It took Edward a second to realize what he wanted, but then he did. He looked up with an embarrassed glare.
I understand. Cho mega. Big hoss.
He corrected, stepping back and away from him as he shook his head in denial of what he had just let happen. Not only had let happen, but had deliberately egged on.
Good.
Mustang spoke.
Are we done here then?
Edward glared at the dismissal, but couldn't bring himself to argue as the words Mustang had spoken echoed over and over again in his ear. Did he like this? Was he doing this to himself?
We're done.
Sir, he spoke.
Cho mega big hoss.
Shooting the wet stain on his pants and Mustang's smug look a glare before turning on his heels and stomping out the door.
I'm reviewing this under the name Big Hoss, and my review is, and I quote, child grooming is bad.
That's fair.
One
Thank you, Big
Okay, I
Hoss.
want to read the author's note, but I have
So-
a request that we all read the quote at the same time. I'll give us
Okay.
a three.
How are we
I'll
gonna
do a
do
3,
that?
2, 1 when I get to it. Author's note.
Okay.
What?
Are we? Okay,
Author's
no, go
note.
ahead.
So I was watching on I was watching FMA today on a binge, and I didn't find any stories that fit my mindset. So much like Thanos, 3, 2, 1. I decided to do it myself. Please let me know what you think about that start. Edward clearly has issues.
Oh, he does!
He does.
Oh man, thanks for reading.
I left my review. Very uncomfortable. 8 out of 10. Needs more crankshaft.
There's 2 more chapters of this
It's not
shit.
even done.
I
It was
am...
updated January 7th. This is ongoing.
Oh no.
Okay, I would like to start by saying
Thank you, Big Hoss.
with my review. First of all, this thing was a bit of a pain to read. The very short, stilted dialogue was a lot of, like Jake referred to it as snake questions. There were some errors, like spelling errors. There were some he/him.
I can
Continuity
say something
problems.
that's gonna make this way worse, by the way.
What?
Chapter 2 involves Mustang getting Edward drunk and then having sex with him.
Oh, come on.
That's not okay.
That is not
don't,
okay.
like you don't take these out of context. See, I'm in a place with like fanfiction and stuff like that where like I cannot. Fanfiction has made it where I can't take any kind of erotica seriously. Being this is a fanfiction, I'm not gonna label this as like. The point I'm trying to make is like I don't have a problem with like the content that's in it because it's fan fiction, fictional characters, but like this is just like legitimately just like
Uncomfortable.
I mean yeah, it's a comfortable read. I'm not gonna say this is I don't like it. I'm just saying like I have no problem like reading this and going, oh man, that's disgusting. I'm gonna keep reading because I'm just that kind of person.
No, I'm in the camp of this is making me uncomfortable, and I really wish that we didn't read
I mean,
it.
this stuff doesn't like bother me. It's just like, yeah, you can like and when it comes to fictional characters and stuff like this, it's just like it's like to me at least, it's like, you know, you do you sort of thing. I of course am not a fan of this pairing for, you know, reasons.
But I mean,
but
the author deliberately sat down and wrote this.
Yeah, I think my thing is like
Knowing full well.
usually it's like whatever, like do what you gotta do. But if you're like egging on like child grooming or like gross shit like that.
I mean, I guess I can see where you're coming from
I'm not
because
a
this isn't
big
the standard
fan.
like, oh yeah, I wrote about 2 teenagers and they banged. This is like just directly
this is
like
hold on. Roy Mustang age.
He's at least in his late 20s.
He's 29.
Yeah.
This is a 30-year-old man seducing a 15-year-old. And they're just like
big-
acting like it's normal.
Yeah, I think if I had the chance for somebody to put a prompt with this, I would have had Mustang like burn both of them to death after that scene, because I think that's what Mustang would have done.
I would have had Mustang burn both of them to death before that scene.
Yeah, probably. Oh. The problem is very definitively the ages. I think it would have been funny if the author had said, yeah, I just arbitrarily made Edward like 4 years older than he should have been, and Mustang like 8 years younger than he should have been for the sake of not being creepy.
Yeah, like all you have to do is just be like, yeah, I aged Mustang down. He's younger.
And
Like,
age,
I made Edward
yeah.
older to make him.
But
you
no,
know,
they specifically bring up multiple times that he is 15.
Yeah.
And that Mustang
That's
is
the part
an
that I don't
adult
like.
and his superior officer.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I don't like it.
As
I
an
don't know.
aside,
I don't
this is
know
a
when
good chance
we're
to explain why I
recording.
thought the Hagrid and Dobby slash fiction was hilarious. Because it's not like a caricature.
Excuse
Yeah,
me?
we read a Hagrid and Dobby slash gay fiction the other day.
But it was intentionally supposed to be humorous. It wasn't written to be serious. It was supposed to be a joke.
It was intentionally meant to be a bit humorous because it's written as though Hagrid was like the normal Hagrid from Harry Potter, and he just has to deal with Dobby being weird and horny.
That's honestly probably the best.
And
case
Dobby's like, "Please, sir, won't you fuck me with your dick?" And Hagrid's looking at him
Like,
like, "Dude, I'm going to literally kill you if I do that. That's not going to end well." Sergio?
No, I wasn't gonna say anything.
Oh, I thought you were.
Well, yeah, I thought you were gonna say something too. So, well, I don't know when we're recording next episode.
I think I was going to say what you were about to say. So you yeah.
All right, that's fair. I have nothing else to say about what we just read.
Yeah, me neither.
Disgusting. Needs more crankshaft.
I suppose. Well, next episode possibly? Big question mark. Well, I'm going to be bringing you despair.
Are we reading a Danganronpa fanfiction?
No, I mean like despair, like as in like
Just total loss of understanding of reality. Oh no.
like that.
I don't know what a pear means.
So yeah.
You're bringing me this pear. Oh, I've never actually eaten a pear before, but I'm probably not gonna
Yeah.
like it because I don't like fruit.
Yeah, when we drop in, I will say hello to all the twinks.
Oh?
Yeah, I found one that was obviously something I think we're gonna enjoy.
Oh boy. Well, we'll be seeing that tomorrow.
Yeah. Yay.
Bye.
Bye.